Hey YNR fans, welcome back to the channel. And yeah, we've reached the end of the week. We got the Friday cliffhanger. Hopefully you're having a fun-tabulous Friday. And I gotta tell you, look like we got the battle of the mamas. We also have somebody that's keeping his cards close to his vest when confronted by a family member. And then, yeah, we got Devon and Abby setting a wedding date. So you know what? Let's have this conversation about these Genoa City residents for August 9th. So we're going to start out over at the Abbott estate because I guess little Harrison is feeling better. He have a conversation with his dad and Claire, and come to find out, the reason that he had a stomach problem is because he ate too many shrimps. Not 1 ton, but according to this little boy, 2 tons of shrimp. And by the time he got through eating all that shrimp, he said that his stomach felt like he just got off of a carnival ride. Ooh. Yeah, not good. However, he's dreaming now of ice cream after all of that. And so, you know what? They're like, are you sure about that? And I don't blame them because after going through a whole stomach situation all night, now you want ice cream? Okay. Well, they decide to take him over to get some ice cream until, yeah, Kyle get a message. And, yeah, he got to take off. And we'll talk about why. So the answer to that why is Summer want to use some of her family clout. She gets in touch with her grandfather because she got some grievances. I guess it isn't bad enough that Phyllis and Daniel and everybody is kind of convoluting things. So she said, you know what? I'm going to pull the Newman card and go to the biggest Newman of the deck. Yeah, Victor Newman. And she goes on and on about Kyle and this custody case. And Victor's like, you guys haven't figured that out yet? No, Victor, they haven't. Why? Because your granddaughter continues to escalate it. However, she goes on talking about the fact that he's making bad decisions and how what happened over at Jabot and how he got fired from his own company and how he's now working with Audra Charles and Glissade. And she asked Victor, I can't believe you actually would condone him working with Audra Charles. And I was sitting up cracking up because he actually got in bed with Audra Charles himself in a business way. Yeah, remember? He was the mystery investor that actually did this collaboration with Audra Charles. So unbeknownst to Summer, I don't know, she's barking up the wrong tree. But as usual, Victor played it cool, keeping his cards close to his vest because he's the mastermind behind the one thing that Summer is complaining about. And at the same time, he's like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'll have a talk with Kyle myself. And the interesting thing about all of that is the fact that she don't realize that he is the one that got this whole situation in motion. So now we got some drama over at the GCAC. You talking about the battle of the mamas. So first, Phyllis comes over there and she's painting Kyle as the villain of the story. And she not backing down either, pointing out how Diane fired Kyle and how that firing is impacting not only him, but also Harrison and Summer. And of course, they're throwing all this sarcasm back and forth. Jack tried to be the voice of reason, but when did that ever work when it comes to these two? Phyllis and Diane have a whole sparring event, which is a spectacle to behold, each hurling accusations like daggers. And just as the argument seems to get ready to explode, Summer swoops in. I mean, they talking about people faking deaths. They both fake deaths. I mean, Diane did it first for a decade and then came back into Kyle's life. And then Phyllis did it for about a good year or so and came back into her kid's life. And they also talked about the fact that Phyllis, and the reason why Summer and Kyle are divorced, is because Summer was covering for Phyllis still being what everybody thought was gone, while Diane almost rotted in prison. And of course, with Kyle finding out that Summer kept their vital information, hence the divorce, hence sliding on top of Audra Charles, which Phyllis still is gassing that situation up. However, Diane called her out for being the one that is gassing up Summer and pushing this whole thing about Audra Charles and this custody case. Summer swoops in trying to be the peacemaker in all of this, trying to pull her mom out of the situation, as she should, because, I mean, this whole thing is out of control. And I gotta say, unfortunately, I'm Team Kyle on this, because just like Kyle's parents said in this whole interaction, Summer was the one that started it first. Kyle wasn't stopping her from spending time with Harrison. Kyle wasn't impeding on any type of custody or any type of visitation when it comes to Summer. The thing is, Summer got pissed about the fact that he's now working with Audra Charles, and of course with Phyllis gassing her up, thinking that they're having some sordid affair. Yeah, I think you need to go talk to Nate about that. But at the same time, this whole thing is out of control, and yeah, I'm glad Summer actually came in and pulled her mom away. On a lighter note, as we head over to Chancellor Park, we got Love in the Air with Devon and Abby, and they are happy. Devon is on one knee, and he's not just proposing. He's proposing like he wanted to before the last time he asked Abby to marry him on the fly. But they have a sweet surprise. There's jelly sandwiches and cheese sandwiches, sugar cookies, and of course the biggest question of his life, will you marry me again, he asked. And of course she says yes. They talk about the fact that her mother, yes, Ashley, should be done with her therapy in the fall, and they're looking at a November 13th wedding date, which also happens to be Abby's birthday. And at first they was like, well, maybe we shouldn't do it on your birthday, but Abby, of course, always being about Abby, yeah, she said, yeah, let's do it on November 13th, and plus her mom will be home. So when we think of November, we think of November sweep. So I'm wondering, are they going to tie in something into their wedding? So remember I said Kyle got a text message and he had to take off. Well, where did he head over to? The GCAC lounge to meet up with Victor. And Victor said, yeah, we need to have a conversation about this custody battle. And I mean, he gave the look as if Kyle was the problem. And Kyle was like, I had no problem with her and having visitation and all of this. At the same time, she was the one that started it. She don't like the fact that I'm working with Audra Charles, and she don't like Claire. That's the problem, Victor. And Victor is like, okay, well, we need to figure out a way that you need to be able to work that out, and you need to talk to her. And I'm like, Victor, Kyle has been talking to her. She doesn't have a voice of reason because her mother is in her ear. At the same time, I guess Kyle is going to try, especially since when the boss calls, he has the answer. And I guess whenever Victor say jump, he asks how high, and he does it. Either way, Victor, maybe you need to clear it up with your granddaughter that the reason that those two are working together is because of you. Speaking of Phyllis and Summer, they make it down to the GCAC lounge and they are arguing back and forth, where Summer is telling her mom, look, just as much as you were protecting and defending me, Diane is going to protect and defend Kyle too. And those two are still going back and forth until Victor says, hello, ladies. And of course, they straighten up real fast. And next thing, before Victor leaves, he tells Summer, remember what I talked to you about? It's taken care of. And Phyllis was like, oh my God, please don't tell me you went and got help from your grandfather. You know that your grandfather does nothing for free. And that girl, Summer, had the nerve to say, he wouldn't do that to his own children and grandchildren, would he? Go have a conversation with Adam, Nick, Abby, and Victoria, and then you come back and maybe you can answer that question, because they've been through that before, especially Adam Newman. And then we have a tender moment before Kyle arrives between Claire and Harrison. And Claire is asking how he's feeling about everything. And he's happy, but he's not happy that his parents are not happy together. Harrison says not only they don't love each other anymore, they don't even like each other anymore. And when a kid can tell that, oh yeah, it's a whole problem. They need to figure this out, because caught in the middle of all of this, is none other than their son Harrison. And it's Summer that really is fueling this thing. And I think maybe if she had a little bit more information about what's really going on, especially with her grandfather involved, she might have second thoughts. And finally, we see Jack and Diane regrouping over at the GCAC. Diane is seething. Her mind's racing with ways to counter Phyllis's next move. Jack gave her a little bit of caution, aware that this battle line has been drawn, but Diane, no, she's resolved to win this battle. And she wants to win Kyle back and protect their family. She is ready to take on Phyllis with everything she's got. And I'm telling you, this is going to get ugly day by day. He's telling them, look, let the kids figure it out. And maybe that's what they should do. But these mamas are being all mama bear mode. So it's about to really get crazy, not just with Kyle and Summer, but with Phyllis and Diane. Okay, so there you have it. I know you want to talk about it. Let's get the conversation started. Yeah, we had a lot of drama going on in this episode. I mean, whether it's scheming, plotting, yelling at each other, fighting, whatever it is, and people being caught in the crossfire, which, you know, a lot of this roads lead back to Victor Newman. Hopefully they can figure this out, or maybe, just maybe, somebody need to put Victor on blast. Also, stay tuned for the bold and the beautiful recap for today as well, as it looked like we're going to see Katie running to Bill to warn him about Poppy, because RJ, with his big old mouth, went to run over there and tell Katie about what them letters was about that Tom was sending to Poppy. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you're notified every time a video is posted. Till the next one, we'll see you all soon. Bye, guys.